Balloon Beats.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unhinged Live. Listen, as usual, I'm Patrick Hennessy. Tonight we got Brendan Kramer, hashtag shut up Brendan, and iPhone Lonzo. Very special night tonight. How are we doing, boys?
We're doing great. We're doing great.
Brendan had to think about that for a little bit.
Yeah,
Brendan's like, wait.
I wanted to say something else.
I don't know
but
if I'm doing good. But Brendan would like to let everybody know that due to the weather outside, he is offering to shovel for everyone. So his rates are $5 per inch. Now that could work in a couple different industries, but tonight he is doing that with snow. So yeah, just let Brandon know how many inches you have, and he will.
All right.
Bro, pause. Just pause.
All right, so let's get into it. Tonight I think I want to talk about Giancarlo Stanton. Listen, I've seen so much stuff on like Yankee social media among the fans talking about trading the dude. Like, let's just come to conclusion right now. This is not happening. Like, Giancarlo Stanton is going to be a Yankee for the foreseeable future. The dude's not being traded. Not only because I don't think the Yankees want to trade him, but also that contract just isn't tradable. Like, the Yankees were the only team in baseball that were going to take that contract on. And listen, I think all the trade rumors need to stop.
Literally, when Giancarlo Stanton is healthy, he is an MVP player. We saw what he did in the postseason. He practically carried our entire offense in the ALDS. I mean, without him, we probably get swept. So everyone's saying, "Oh, he strikes out." Everyone on our team strikes out. Aaron Judge strikes out. Luke Voigt strikes out. Strikeouts are normal. But when Stan is locked in, he's one of the best hitters in baseball.
Easily.
Can't trade him.
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys. I just think like people have to realize when we traded for him, it was a double-edged sword. Like we were gonna have to deal with this contract in the less, favorable years. And I don't even think we're there yet. I think he's still in the prime of his career, and we're still at a point where we can get a lot of production from him. But he was never, like, I know people were talking about he's going to opt out and go to the Dodgers and all this. That was never going to happen. So I hate to say stuck with him, but he's a member of the Yankees for the remainder of his contract, and we're just going to have to deal with it and take what he gives us. And I'm excited.
Yeah,
I think he's going to have some. I think his best Yankee years are ahead of him.
Especially by moving him to DH, you're honestly prolonging his career a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think that there's much worse players in the league that we could be stuck with on this type of contract. I mean, like
Yeah.
we could be talking about like Ellsbury on this type of deal. Like having Giancarlo Stanton, the issue is he just needs to stay healthy. I think that as long as he's on the field, it's like the Judge thing. As long as he's on the field, we know he's going to produce. And but the thing with Stanton is like it's also like a Gary thing in a way. It's like no matter what the dude does, like he's just gonna get hate for it. Like he
Yeah.
was literally an absolute monster in the ALDS this year. And fans still found a way to rag on him. Like it just doesn't make sense. There's some players on the Yankees that no matter what they do, they'll just get fan hate, like regardless. And Stan and Gary are two of those guys. And I think that's where the trade rumors kind of come into play because people are just praying that somehow, some way, this dude gets off the team.
It's ridiculous because when you have Stanton in your lineup, it makes your lineup that much better. Not only just his presence, but let's say you're batting him fourth or maybe even behind Judge. That gives Judge, honestly, insurance because then you can't really pitch around Judge because if you pitch around Judge, you have Stanton right behind you. Like he makes the
Yeah.
lineup, even if he's not even hitting well, his impact, just his presence in the lineup makes the team that much better. And we honestly need him. Like Gary's hate at this point is justified because he has not been good for 2 years. With Stanton, if he's not hitting every single ball that's thrown to him out for a home run, he's getting hate.
He's also
Yeah,
like
that's what it is.
not. You're also not gonna get a lot for him. Like even if you were able to find someone to take his contract, like, it would literally just be that. Like it would just be a contract dump, and you'd be hopefully spending that money somewhere else, whether it was on a pitcher that they wanted or like the huge shortstop class next year. Like there's not. It's not like you're trading Stanton and rebuilding and getting like high level prospects for him or like major league ready talent. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're it's a money dump the same way that the what was it? I almost said the Mariners, the Marlins, the way they dumped him and didn't
Yeah.
get much in return. So
Yeah. I mean,
I don't see what the huge appeal is.
if I'm being honest, like if there's one deal I would involve like Stanton, like I know we saw this turn around like for a while now, but Stanton for Harper, I'd easily do that.
Yeah, but the Phillies definitely don't.
No, they definitely wouldn't. But if we're talking like if the Yankees had that offer on the table, I'd make that deal 10 times out of 10. Even
Well,
though Harper does have the longer deal for more money. Like I'd still want
yeah.
Harper over Stanton.
Well,
Yeah,
Harper, I
mean,
think, is the better player. He's more versatile. He can play all three outfield positions. He's younger. Like there's a lot of
He also
reasons
makes more
why.
sense for the Yankees.
Right, left-handed bat. Like
Yeah.
it makes a lot more sense. But they're not the Phillies. First of all, are not going to trade. They're like one prized free agent acquisition in the last who knows how many years, and trade him for a guy who's played like 1.5 seasons in the past 3-4 years. Especially a guy who can't even play in the outfield. He's only DH, and they're a National League team. They still don't even know if the DH is going to be full-time thing in the National League. So I don't think that would make a ton of sense.
Before we get into some other comments here, we have a request by Nick, and he wants a GM debate. Hashtag Chief Lonzo versus hashtag Shut Up Brandon. If DJ isn't re-signed, what moves do you make? Listen, I wasn't included in that comment, so I'm just gonna see myself out of here. You guys could debate for the next 2 minutes. I'll just be gone.
I think
Okay,
Jalen and I both agree.
Brandon, you go first though.
I think we both agree on the first thing. If you don't get DJ, you get Lindor immediately if you can. But I mean, if you don't do that, you get 2 serviceable starting pitchers and an extra bullpen arm, and then a shortstop. So then you can move Glaber to second. If you can't get DJ, you spend it on some other pieces.
Here's the thing. The thing that like bugs me out though is like I'm in that boat regardless. Whether you get DJ or not, you need to get 2 controllable starting pitchers. And when I say controllable, I don't mean you need to trade for a 27-year-old who has 4 years left, under control. I just mean a guy who you feel like is reliable, can give you innings. Not another James Paxton situation where he could be out in June and you don't. Then you're searching for innings again. A guy so reliable is probably a better word than controllable.
Yeah.
And I think shortstop needs to be addressed because Gleyber Torres is not a good shortstop. If they think that they can be in the market for a shortstop next offseason rather than giving up assets this offseason, so be it, and just go for it with Gleyber this year. That's fine. If you feel like he was out of shape, I know we saw some things saying that he was out of shape and all that. That's fine, but the shortstop needs to be addressed at some point because I don't think Gleyber is the long term
I actually have
the shortstop.
an interesting idea. So I assume, what are the Rays? I know the Yankees and Rays are probably not going to trade, but this is an interesting idea. Wander Franco's a shortstop.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to do with Willie Adames?
Well, I think Franco can play second. He's like 5'10" or something like that. He has good hands. He has good range. And the thing about shortstops is that you can basically plug them anywhere on the field, and especially in the infield, and they'll play well. Um, Gleyber Torres came up as a shortstop, and we now see he's a better second baseman. There was talk
Yep.
for a long time of him eventually being our third baseman because
I remember that.
when he came, we had Starlin Castro and Didi, so we were saying we were gonna have Gleyber be our third baseman for the future of our infield, and Greg Bird was gonna be our first baseman.
Greg Bird.
So I'm not super concerned for the Rays because I'm sure they'll find a way to figure it out. Who knows? Maybe they'll trade Willie Adames and get like the next Chris Sale or something. Like
Willie Adames is
they could do that.
stupidly overrated. Like
I'm
think
with
that's
you.
not talked about enough.
I think the way that he was talked about in the playoffs, you could tell those guys do not watch like baseball most of the year, like unless it's like in their own market. We see the Rays often, and we know how he's a great defender. He's a good defender, but like the way they're talking about him is as if he was on the same planet as like the top tier shortstops, and
I
we
know.
just all know that's bullshit.
All right, we got some more comments here. Jay, you need a fire?
You got the glasses.
Well, listen, wherever I go, they're fire. Let's be completely open and honest about that. But,
so that's gonna wrap things up for us today. Let's see. I'm sure everyone has heard Cashman DJ's first priority. Then why the hell did the Yankees? Yeah, I've never seen a minor league contract for 2 years.
That's because
that's kind of interesting.
He just came off of Tommy John, so it was more of like
we
pay him this year, help him rehab. They trust. I don't hate deals like that just because.
So why not do that with Canely?
Because with Canely, it's different.
I think Canely is more of a guy who is going to command a lot more money because he's proven that he's worth a bigger deal, even though coming off Tommy John. So Matt Bowman, I don't even know what the numbers were, but I'm sure it was less, and they were going to have to commit to Canely over 2 years, and you don't know how that's going to pan out. So if you give a guy like Bowman a 2-year minor league deal, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't hurt you at all. If you give Canely 2 years and say like 15 mil or 2 years, 12 mil, whatever it is, and it doesn't pan out, then you're 6 mil in a hole and you just wasted it. I don't hate
so
it.
Pathetic. Like I don't hate the move itself, but I hate the fact that like this is what it's coming down to. Like that is probably the Yankees' biggest move of the offseason so far.
Yeah, but to be fair, there hasn't been many big moves in the offseason. Yeah. I think deals like this are not indicative of like what's to come for the Yankees. I think once we see where DJ lands, that's going to tell what the Yankees offseason is going to look like. Like when we see these little minor league deals and small transactions, that's just them taking care of things that they know that they don't affect the rest of their offseason.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, it's more of like I look back on last offseason, and I think the Yankees missed out on Blake Trinan. I think it was like how much they signed for, like $5 million.
I think it was.
So,
let me check.
This is kind of like a prime example for me of like the Yankees once again shopping in the bargain bin.
Oh, it's 10.
10 million. That's that's nothing.
Yeah, it was nothing. But a lot of people, I think, thought he was in a way a 1-year wonder because he went from untouchable to absolutely dog shit. But
yeah, I know
was always there. But it would have been a great project. I mean, you saw what he did with the Dodgers.
But now it's like the Yankees are just shopping in the bargain bin. It's like, how much did Trevor May sign for?
15, 16 million a year.
Did he actually? I mean, it's a little bit much, but still, it's like I feel like the Yankees are rather than like leaning towards like the Liam Hendricks of the world, Brad Hands,
15.5 for 2 years.
All right, the Archie Bradleys of the world. They're like trying to go after like the Matt Bowmans and like the random guys who pitched for the Royals last year. Like, let's sign Tim Hill. Like, I'm tired of
Nicky
it.
Lopez.
We already know. So yeah, Nicky Lopez.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I just feel like this. This could be it. Like, it could just be like we're gonna shop in the bargain bin the whole year, and like hopefully our one big deal covers us. Because because that's kind of what happened last year. It was like we're not doing anything until we know where Cole's going. But in that process, you might lose out on some
Yeah.
quality signings. But I guess that's kind of the game you have to play. Like if we want the Yankees to spend big on a guy like DJ, right? Like we want them to bring back their guys or bring in a guy like Garrett Cole. We kind of have to play this waiting game. It falls back on the fact that they are a little bit more of penny pinchers and yeah, sure, Archie Bradley might cost you like a couple $1 million or a few $1 million, but like that shouldn't stop you from still going after DJ or
That's
signing
exactly
Garrett
what I'm
Cole.
saying.
Like I get what you're saying. I'm just saying the way that they're operating right now, I don't think it means like Matt Bowman is like the biggest. It's not indicative of them saying they're not going to spend money. It's just like if they don't spend money on DJ, that's pretty much it. Because if there's no big names left out there after DJ signs, DJ could wait until a week before spring training, and we won't sign anybody. Like we'll just wait on what he does.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree.
it's a very dangerous game to play, but that's the game they seem to be playing these past couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, like when I look at last offseason, for example, right? I agree with people when they say Cole was the only move that needed to be made. However, when you look at how much the Yankees struggled last season, um, I would say most of that comes from the team not planning on having any depth. It's like they signed Cole, and then there was not one depth made after that. It's
Because
like
they thought
they
all those bench pieces were going to turn into like superstars.
exactly, and they also assumed that they were gonna have no injuries once again, and the
Exactly.
rotation was gonna be fine, the lineup was gonna be fine, the bench was gonna be fine. But the issue is, if you don't plan on having depth ahead of time, you have to make those moves midseason, and they didn't do that. So now that just leads me to believe that they're cool with the roster they have, because if they weren't cool with it, they would have got someone at the deadline. The past two off seasons, but I think Ryan Stanek, is he a free agent?
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, he's the type of guy where I would not mind the move. I mean, he has
Neither would I.
good stuff, fastball, slider, splitter. I mean, he's shown. I mean, he's kind of like a hit or miss at times. But with the Rays, they were just making him throw high fastballs all the time, and that can kind of get hit hard. But I would not mind the deal at all. He's kind of a guy you can kind of catch lightning in the bottle.
He would be
So
cheap as hell too.
he would be like that's the thing. You're going to see this year, especially with how the market is and with the idea of most likely playing a full season next year. You're going to see, like I would say, a lot of 1 year, 2 year deals. People kind of betting on themselves. So
Yeah.
it's a deal
I'm all aboard. I'm all
You're all
aboard
aboard
the
the
Archie
Stanek
Bradley
train?
train. No, I'm
Oh,
all aboard
Archie Bradley train.
Archie Bradley is my guy. Like that's who I want. I think he's the perfect replacement for Tommy Kahnle. Like they're the same guy. Like literally,
Yeah.
I watched him on the R2C2 podcast, and I was like, this guy is. I was actually watching it before the trade deadline this year because I thought that was going to be who they acquired. And he was also rumored to be in trade negotiations with the Yankees and the Diamondbacks in 2019. So I remember he talked about them being in New York during those negotiations. They were playing actually in New York, and it was his first time playing in Yankee Stadium. He was pitching and like imagining himself potentially being a part of the team. He like got he like asked CC for his autograph and all this stuff. It's a really cool interview.
Yeah.
But just the way he talks about baseball, the way he talks about the history of the Yankees, the way he talks about his regimen and like what he goes through to prepare for a season, it sounds like I'm listening to Tommy Kahnle talk. How pumped up he is, how loud he is in the dugout. He throws like 98. They're very similar, and I think adding another guy like that to our bullpen would be really fun. But again, that shouldn't stop us from adding another guy like Ryan Stanek costing like $3 million a year if you only sign for 1 or 2 years shouldn't stop you from bringing in proven, reliable veteran relievers.
I agree.
But let's bring in Stanek and let's bring in freaking Andrew Velasquez and like Ryan Murphy and Troy Bolton and
Troy
and
Bolton.
and
Yo.
Babe Ruth, and let's just figure it out. Like,
Wait. Is Ryan Murphy an actual guy? Because it sounds familiar.
he's probably
He
somewhere in the
probably
world.
is somewhere in life. Shout out to you, Ryan Murphy, wherever you may be. Um, Mad Dog says the Yankees suffered a huge money loss this year. Oh, is this the reason
Yeah,
the Yankees are gonna like? I'm so annoyed with this whole the Yankees lost so much money because of COVID. Every team lost money because of COVID. Like
Oh no,
they're
the
all in
rich
the
got a
same
little
boat.
bit less richer.
It's so frustrating because if we're going that route, like what was the Yankees' excuse last year? Like all they did was sign Cole. So the season before that wasn't COVID either. You still
I
got
think they're
money,
just.
Yankees.
I don't really believe anything Mad Dog says. A
I
lot of the
don't
time,
hate Mad Dog.
I
I
don't hate
don't
him,
hate
but
Mad Dog.
if
His voice
anything,
is
I mean,
annoying.
if he's the type of person to just like wake up and just start yelling.
Brandon,
But
you and Mad Dog have like a little bit of a resemblance.
No, I was just I think
I
it's
was,
the hair. I think it's the
It's
hair.
probably I think it's the hair too.
should I just start screaming as well?
Do it.
No,
Do your best
please
Mad
don't.
Dog impression.
I
No,
can't do that
Brandon,
on the
please.
spot. I don't
Brandon,
have one. That's
please.
the thing.
Can you practice for next time?
Yes, I can practice for it next time.
All right, you're on the schedule for Friday, right?
I think so.
All right, so
Oh,
Friday we'll see
beautiful.
your Mad Dog impression. Are you good, Brandon?
Yeah, I know. I'm fucking looking up fucking how to do his fucking voice.
There's like
even
Google didn't
instructions.
tell you that?
I was
All
looking up
right.
Mad Dog Russo compilations.
All right, moving on.
There's a specific video I'm looking for. There's a fucking rant he had where because when he's angry, his accent really comes out. So I don't know if you want just the normal Mad Dog where he's kind of pointing and like he does this with his hand. I've watched
All
a
right,
couple of the shows.
let's let's just move on here.
Hey, wait. George says he could do a good Mad Dog. I think we got to bring George on.
George,
See yours first.
Yeah.
Listen, George, if you could, I don't know if you have Twitter, but if you could tweet me a video of you doing a Mad Dog impression, I'll pop it up on live.
Pull it up on his TikTok.
Oh, if you do it on TikTok too, I'll pull it up on there. Just you gotta like post the link in the chat or something. But what Futai? Would you hate if the Yankees
Futai!
signed 3 relievers and have a bullpen of greens? I would love that, but that's
a
never
beautiful
happening.
bullpen.
It's never
It's
happening.
never happening. I would
And
love
that's,
it.
okay,
Beautiful
hold
bullpen.
on. The only way that they go in on the bullpen, and as far as like having a bullpen of what Futai just put out there, is if they miss out on DJ. Like they don't sign DJ, they don't sign any starters, and their starting rotation is literally, and they don't sign any bench pieces or shortstop, and so they just go with the whole 2017 approach, 2016 approach of just let's just make this bullpen insane. And that's not even really that insane of a bullpen. It's just better. But
Yeah.
you have a rotation of Garrett Cole, and then you go with like this is gonna make me throw up, but like Jordan Montgomery, Clark Schmidt, Davy Garcia. The fact that I can't even get through 5 names without like stumbling and like not remembering who's on that rotation. But a
Yeah,
really
no, it's
young
struggling.
rotation, guys that we don't typically want to rely on. And then that's when you're gonna have the same exact field the same defensive team or offensive team, however you look at it, except like Tyler Wade's going to be your starting second baseman.
That's sickening.
And then like, or you have Tyler Wade as your starting shortstop, and they're going to put Glaber at second. Maybe is that
Jalen,
better? Like, is that?
I'm gonna go vomit. I think I might just go vomit.
I'm just letting you know if you want to be a bullpen of like Archie Bradley, Brad Hand, Ryan Stanek, and then the rest of the guys we already pay a good amount of money. You're gonna have to settle for everything else.
Yo, this guy, bro. This man goes, you forgot the GOAT Nestor Cortez. George says, bring me hashtag Graham Lloyd.
Graham Lloyd.
I don't know if you guys saw the live last night when I was reacting to the Brawls, but Graham Lloyd against the Orioles is a sight to see. I don't know if you guys seen it before, but my man is flailing his hands around like he's trying to kill a bee. It's just it's an atrocity against humanity. That's all it is. Brennan, can you hit me with one of these at least?
I can't. As I said, I will prepare for Friday.
Good afternoon, everybody.
See, all right. You couldn't do that, Brandon? Like, you're the one that gets paid the big bucks, too.
I'm just an
Come
intern.
on. Yeah, that's true. Wait, all your checks have bounced? Oh, my bad. Um,
My
Mad
bad.
Dog looks like the guy who complains if he got extra pickles on a burger. See, I take the counter argument to that. I feel like Mad Dog looks like the guy who would be ecstatic, like so happy out
I
of his
think it's
mind
Mike
if he got extra
Francesa.
pickles
Mike
on his burger.
Francesa is the one that complains about literally everything.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Mike Francesa and Mad Dog are just. This is why people don't want to come to New York. Not the only
Yeah.
reason, but like. Oh,
But
Mike
also, like,
Francesa.
I think Mad Dog gets a lot of hate. And, like, it's kind of undeserved sometimes. Like,
Francesa gets the hate, but it's deserved.
I think
Okay.
Francesca deserves more hate than Mad Dog.
Okay, but do you want to? Okay, I have a hot take,
Give
and
me
it's funny because of what we do on pretty much a day-to-day basis, and like I hate sports analysts and journalists, especially media journalists, because like when we sit here every week, almost every day, and we talk about our opinions, we talk about how we feel about things, we interact with our subscribers, we interact with each other, we talk about our opinions. But if things change and new information comes out, we're willing to say, okay, well, either I was wrong about this or I've changed my mind. And also just subscribe to the idea that this is just our opinion, right? We have no control over what goes on. We are not Brian Cashman. We are not Al Steinbrenner. We are not Aaron Boone. And we're not any of the players. And we understand that. But I listen to some of these guys on like ESPN, MLB Network, or wherever, Fox Sports, and it's just like they genuinely think that they know everything, or like they want to
Oh no.
sell that they want to sell the concept of them knowing everything. And it's the same thing I talked about with like the MLB insiders or whatever you want to call them, like basically talking like they know something, and it's very frustrating. But I realize it's their job, so that if they don't do that, they're not gonna get paid. But
Yeah.
it's just so stupid. Like these guys on the radio who just talk and like people call in and they'll give their opinion on something, and Mike Francesa will just be like, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard." Like how do you know that that's not what's gonna happen? Like I remember some guy called in saying that they wanted when Manny Machado was a free agent, and they were like, "I feel like Manny Machado would be a huge upgrade at third base," and Francesa just like completely shit on him and was just like, Manny Machado is not what the Yankees need. Like you have no idea. Like I've been New York radio for so many years.
Yeah, but who even still watches him?
Bro, you'd be
People just
surprised how
do,
many
but
people listen to him in the morning.
Yeah.
I couldn't
It's just
imagine that. But
at this point, he's just honestly just a meme. Mainly the calls he's getting. I would say he's getting more troll calls than he's getting normal calls. I mean, at least
No, bro.
3.
Bro,
Good.
that's just because we see what happens on Twitter. Like, bro, this guy, like if I'm ever like when I'm with my grandfather and like we're driving in the morning somewhere, like and he turns on like that WFAN, like that's what's playing. Like it's crazy. People really interact with this guy because they think he knows something.
no, I know. But I think also before we move on from like the whole sports media thing, I think we could all come to an agreement that ESPN is dead and has been dead for a very long time. They're just the
Especially
worst.
for baseball. Baseball, ESPN baseball is the absolute worst.
Like I remember as a kid, like every morning before school, I would like throw on like Sports Center, like ESPN News, whatever was on, and like they actually used to give like all like the sports highlights, whatever, like baseball, football, basketball, whatever.
Yeah.
And now it's like I would probably vomit if I threw on ESPN just because like
The only
I feel like it's just not what it is anymore.
the only one I like is Scott Van Pelt at the end of the night, like he covers like at the end of primetime games or like the NBA finals, like he'll have all the really good interviews. But like it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
It was ESPN died when they got rid of like baseball tonight in like the early 2000s.
Yeah. I actually do have another topic I want to talk about, and that is Don Zimmer. Now, listen, I know the dude's dead. We're not gonna rag on him, but big butt here, big butt. Watching these brawls last night, I'm genuinely confused as to what he thought he was doing with Pedro Martinez. Like, I know Pedro gets a lot of shit for throwing him on the floor, but this dude, Don Zimmer, was charging at him like a herd of elephants.
Don Zimmer doesn't give a fuck.
I don't know
Can I
what
give
his
another-
end goal was.
Can I give another hot take?
Give a hot take.
I never thought Pedro Martinez was wrong for what he did.
No, I
I
listen.
never thought he was wrong. I would have done the
No,
exact same thing. I
that's what
promise you, I would have.
but that's
And I'm
exactly what
not.
I'm
Listen,
saying.
rest in peace to Don Zimmer. God bless the dead, and all the things I'm supposed to say right now. But bro, I have never. Every time I see that video, I die of laughter because I pictured myself in Pedro Martinez's shoes, and I would have done. If I saw any grown man that charges me, okay, maybe I wouldn't have
He's
thrown
just
him to the
getting
ground by
thrown
his
down easily.
like. I'm not gonna punch an old man in his face. Like I'm not gonna
No,
do
I
that.
know.
So like I probably would have like held him by his shoulders, and if he kept coming at me, you're getting thrown to the ground. Like I'm not. This is not a
No,
game.
I
Like I'm
think
a
that's
grown man also.
fair.
You know what I mean? Like you're. I don't care if you're 90. I don't care if you're 20. You're getting. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's just.
No,
What
but
are you
that's
doing there,
exactly what I'm
buddy?
saying.
Like
I mean, the people who like bash Pedro Martinez for that, it's like, would you have preferred that he turned Don Zimmer into Nate Robinson? Because he could have
yeah,
easily done that too, and like,
yeah.
but yeah, I just random comment from last night because I remember watching that. But LA King says ESPN has been dead for about 20 years. I don't know if I'd go that far back, but I would say at least like 10, 15 between that range.
Okay,
Another
that's
thing when they
no,
stopped
no. Okay,
having
no. I've been alive for 20 years, and ESPN was fun up until like high school for me. So I'd say over the last like five years, they've gone extremely downhill.
I stopped watching ESPN in like 2010.
What I mean, really, once Chris Berman, they started kicking him off and stuff. That's really when, like, once they took him away from the home run derby, and all it was like,
Bro,
what year
John
was it?
Miller and Joe
The
Morgan, like that's
That
the
was
combo of my
great.
childhood.
That
That was
that
the
is my
best.
childhood.
But that's what I'm saying is like like even when what's his name from the Blue Jays, that guy Dan Schultz, I think his name is. He was a
Yeah.
good
Oh yeah, he's
announcer.
great.
I'm just saying like they weren't great, but it wasn't completely off the rails until probably about like 2016, 2017 is when it started being like, okay, this is kind of unwatchable now.
Yeah.
It once they added Mendoza, the booth of Mendoza, Vasgersian, A-Rod. I mean, Vasgersian's great.
Brendan. Don't get us canceled, Brendan. Don't get
Yo,
No,
Brandon,
I'm not.
I was just gonna
No,
say
trust
that.
That booth just did not work well together. You could see
we'll
there
just,
was
we'll
like
just move on.
No, I'm
No,
not.
no. I don't think that's a cancelable offense. Like I would agree 1,000%. I think Jessica
Didn't
Mendoza.
work well together. Like
Guys, let's just move on. Let's just move on.
No. I'm not gonna move on because I'm gonna state my opinion here. And if people want to cancel me for it, like I don't care. Like Jessica Mendoza, I think was an atrocious broadcaster. I don't care if she's man, woman. I don't care if she doesn't have a gender. She just wasn't good. Like that's the bottom line. I have no problem with women in sports, but they have to be good at their job the same way a man would have to be good at their job. Like I don't think that that's a cancelable offense. If you want to cancel me for that, I'll take that easily.
That booth just had no chemistry whatsoever. You could just honestly, but also the ESPN broadcast is terrible. They're literally showing graphics while the game is going on, and they're missing pitches.
Yeah, no, I know,
No,
but
the ESPN was so bad.
But wait, so Jalen, you're telling me you think Jessica Mendoza was good?
No, I think she was probably the worst announcer I've ever heard.
Okay,
But I also think A-Rod was bad. I said this all the time. I think A-Rod was bad, but I think if A-Rod had two experienced announcers with him, or even just one, I think he would have been a lot better. Just because like he obviously knows the game really well, but he just got into his habit of like trying to fill awkward silence. And sometimes silence in a booth, especially for baseball, is so much better than you just saying anything. And like he'll bring up like a random conversation he had with like one of the players on the field in the middle of like a tense moment, and it's like, bro, we do not care. Like it was just super awkward. So I just think if you put him in like the yes booth, maybe even though we don't like the yes booth and they were terrible this year, if you put him in the yes booth with David Cohn or something, I think he would know his role a little bit better. So
yeah, no, I agree. But also I think A-Rod gets a little bit too much hate too. Like I don't hate the booth of him and Vasgersian because I think Vasgersian's a god. He's probably like my favorite announcer of all time. But
really,
I don't know
of any sport.
I do think Matt Vasgersian's my favorite announcer of all time. Yeah.
Oh, for me, it's probably Jim Nance. I have to.
I don't know who that is.
For me, I kind of do it like sport by sport. I mean,
yeah, it's too hard to go like one for all sports. Jim Nance is football, And then I think Kevin Harlan for basketball is like the most iconic announcer. He just has like a really iconic voice. And I've said this before, and it's another. This is my third hot take of the day. Joe Buck
I agree.
is
Joe Buck's
not
not
a
bad at
bad. He's not a bad announcer. He just lets what's going on the field and on the screen speak for itself. I think he has favorites, and sometimes he lets that show a little bit too much. But I think his voice has just been associated with like all the biggest moments in sports of my life. So when I hear him talk, I know that it's like a big sports moment, and it's like my brain
I
is
agree.
like lets off
1000%.
these endorphins, and I'm like excited when I hear Joe Buck's voice.
I mean,
I
a
agree.
lot of the hate for him comes from the Rangers Cardinals series, but I did some research and he actually could not scream because he had like a throat procedure or something.
He was paying tribute to his father in
Yeah.
that game. He said his father's like most famous announcer moment quote was like, "We'll see you tomorrow night" or something like that. And
No,
then
Yeah.
he
yeah,
did
I'm
the
sure, like,
exact
the
same thing.
entire series, you could tell like he wasn't. Some people kind of got on him because he wasn't as excited as you would expect. I mean, even in the ALCS when Cruz hit that walk-off home run. But I mean, he gets kind of unnecessary hate. But if we're going a little off topic, Gus Johnson for football is great.
That's
Can
a good one.
can we agree though? Joe Buck isn't that bad, but John Smoltz is atrocious.
Oh, John
John-
Smoltz is fucking terrible.
John Smoltz is the equivalent to like. Go ahead, Brandon. Brandon gets all
rant.
worked. Brandon gets all
He's
worked up,
like,
and then
you don't understand.
John
Go.
Smoltz makes me really want to take like it was like a needle and just like shove it right in my ear.
All right,
I'd rather
so,
be deaf than listen to John
all right.
Smoltz.
All right, so we'll move on. I think John
It's true.
Smoltz is the equivalent. John Smoltz is the equivalent to Teddy Bruschi, or not Teddy Bruschi. What's the guy's name? Mark Schlereth in the NFL.
Oh yeah, yep.
Mark Schlereth
Yep.
literally has such a deep hatred for the Giants because we beat
Oh,
him
that man
twice in
That
Super
man was-
Bowl.
Yeah.
You okay, Brandon? You want to get this?
Yeah,
on?
no, that game, his like he even went after Giant fans after that game. Still pisses me. I
Yeah.
still hate that.
No, well, for people who are not tuned in, basically, long story short, Mark Schlereth was on the call for the Giants Seahawks game. The Giants surprised the Seahawks. They upset them 17-12. It was the biggest win of the year for the Giants, probably in the past like 4 years, 4 years. And Mark Schlereth hated every absolute minute of it. Even the best moments for the Giants, Mark Schlereth found a way to praise what the Seahawks were doing. Like Wayne Gallman had like a 60-yard run. And Jamal Adams like tripped him up out of bounds, and he was like, "Wow, look at Jamal Adams fly down the sideline!" Like
The guy got
it
juked
was-
out of his shoes, and he still's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, look at that hustle! Look at that everything!" And he was just like choking.
and then he proceeded to get on Twitter and just absolutely get into it with every single Giants fan that is mentioned, and to sound really salty. So that's how I feel about John Smoltz as it relates to the Yankees.
Before we get off the announcer topic, I don't know if you guys are going to agree with it. I don't know if it's a hot take, but greatest announcer call of all time is Matt Vasgersian's call of the Rashi Davis home run. Like, by far.
I don't even remember.
Lindor's grand slam is a good one.
That's close. That's close too. But I think the Rashi Davis one, just because of like the moment itself and how that call just made the moment even. Like, I don't know how a call could outshine the moment, but I think somehow that one does in my eyes.
Was that Matt Vasgersian or was that Joe Buck?
No, that was Vasgersian.
Vasgersian does the international calls of the World Series.
But didn't we have the international version on because there was like technical difficulties or something? I could have sworn I watched that game with the international version.
I think when they played
you might have
back,
just like, illegally downloaded the stream.
I might
and
have.
watching. No,
Shout
I don't
out
know.
to the FBI.
I can't for some reason I can't think of like calls and big moments. Like I immediately thought of like the biggest moments in baseball. So like I'm thinking about the Jose Bautista home run. Like I can't remember the call. I just tune out. Like especially in the Yankees, I go crazy. Like what was the home run call for Didi when in the wild card game?
That wasn't
had
that
to be a
Dan
good one.
Schultz?
That was either probably Dan Schultz, Aaron Boone was in the booth for that
Oh,
as well.
bro, we can't mention his name. We just can't do it. John Smoltz hates the Yankees. Yeah, that's exactly why he hates the Yankees, honestly.
Same.
I heard
It's
many
the
of his
same thing
interviews.
as Mark Schlereth. Literally the exact same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Quality stuff. Did you see what I put in the chat today? The article by MLB about it was like an alternate reality where like Max Scherzer was a Yankee.
I couldn't even
Did
look
you
at
read the
that.
article?
And then
So
it's this
basically,
whole
I thought I was gonna go into the article, and it was gonna be about like what if the Yankees signed Scherzer in 2015, but it goes back to like I think it was after the 2009 season when they traded for Granderson, and basically the scenario was they threw Jabba in the deal, and they got Scherzer instead of the Diamondbacks getting him. So they would have gotten
no,
Granderson and Scherzer.
the
That would have been
Diamondbacks.
insane.
It was the whole deal because the Tigers wanted more, but instead they got Scherzer from the Diamondbacks because the bigger prospect there was. I mean, the Yankees had that big three of Hughes, Jabba, Chamberlain, and Ian Kennedy. None of them. I mean, Hughes was at least usable, but that whole trade, if you look back at it, it's crazy how everything can shift just with one player going the other way. But who knows if Scherzer develops the way he does with the Yankees, because at that time it was
Probably
still Ian
doesn't.
Rothschild.
He probably doesn't. But
Granderson was
like
also great. I also kind of like. I'm still not mad at that trade. Like that was a good trade. Curtis
Yeah.
Granderson was amazing on the Yankees. He was actually
2 straight
probably
years
my
of 40 homer
favorite.
plus.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite Yankee outside of A-Rod for that time period.
I liked Granderson up until his comments when he joined the Mets. When he was like, "Oh
What did
yeah,
he
like
say?
I'm
New
part of
York.
like the real New York team or whatever." Like, bro, shut up.
He's probably
But
just that was them. I feel like everyone when they go to like the other like when they go to the other side, they do that. Like people who
yeah,
go from like the
just
like
like
they just
you when you
need a
went to
reason to
Fansided.
like when I went to what?
When you went to Fansided.
Exactly. But
But yeah, also in the article they talk about I think they have the Yankees winning the 2017 World Series, and obviously like they don't sign Cole. I think he goes to the Dodgers or something. But I love like all those what if scenarios.
I think we should have won that what's it called, that World Series anyway.
Do you guys see George's comment? Sorry, I
Yeah, he's
haven't been on for a
practicing.
few minutes. He's practicing his best Mad Dog on TikTok.
Let's go. I'm excited to
What was
I'm
that,
looking forward.
Brandon? What was that? Let's go.
I'm excited to see. I mean, I gotta beat him. I gotta have the better. I gotta have the
Brandon,
better impression.
cold read right now. Give me your best Mad Dog. Let's not play.
I
any
don't
games.
have
Let's
one.
do it
That's
for
the
I
thing.
don't understand,
You do.
Brandon. Like even Jalen gave us one. Like
Yeah.
I
Good
have
morning,
not
everybody.
watched-
Pat, are you able to pull up a YouTube clip of Mad Dog really quickly?
I probably could. Yeah, I probably could.
Because
Good
you pull that
afternoon,
up.
everybody.
You pull that up, and I need to see Brendan mimic it because this is getting too ludicrous.
Yeah, it's kind of pissing me off.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight if I don't hear that impression. So
That's a little much. All right, Brendan, I'm gonna bring up. I kind of want video with it too. It's only audio. Good afternoon, everybody.
Just go on YouTube.
Everybody.
It's everybody.
And then when he does interviews, he interviewed Garrett Cole after the press conference, and he was like, they're talking about Yo Severino Paxton. Let me hear your thoughts on that. Let me hear what you got to say on that.
Oh, but
And
I'm
Garrett
the
Cole's
one
like-
getting canceled. I'm the one getting canceled, right?
He did. There was nothing wrong with what he did. He's giving a Mad Dog impression.
What did
I
I
would-
do? The fuck?
Let me hear your thoughts on that. You Paxton, the guy from Japan. How do you feel? I don't know. And Garrett Cole just
All
looked
right.
at him like, what? What do you want me to say to that?
I don't think there's audio though. I gotta fix it so there's audio.
Bro, there's definitely a YouTube video somewhere where there's like his face in it.
See what you make us do, Brandon? Like just because you couldn't do an impression. Like unbelievable.
Unbelievable, this guy.
All right, here we go. It's probably gonna be so loud too.
I'm kind of scared.
Brandon, I'm just letting you know if you don't do this impression after you watch this video, you do have to run outside in the snow. So
I'll do that anyway.
okay, it's a weird flex. All right, let's do this.
Ooh, that's a weird image to have as the headline. The thumbnail. What is that? Why is that there? Why? No. Go back. Why is that his intro?
I don't know.
Ah.
Nah, Brandon, you gotta wait until he's done, bro. All right, hit us with it.
Play one more time.
Oh my god. Okay, Nick said run outside. This is getting a really weird live stream tonight.
People are very bored tonight.
He's like,
Yo. All right, Brandon.
he's like,
This one is
good
wait,
afternoon, everybody. And
wasn't bad.
you gotta get the
That was
I'll
so
give you-
underwhelming, bro. Brendan,
honestly,
you could do so.
I'll give
I
you
could
so
tell you could
focused.
do so much better than that.
That was the first try. I gave the impression though.
Where'd your audio go? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
I literally can't hear anything. I swear the FBI just hacked me, bro.
It's because you said you were streaming that.
Yeah, you were illegally streaming the World
All right,
Series.
well, I can't hear shit.
Leave and come back.
No, it'll end. I think it'll end.
This is why you don't joke around about the FBI. Jesus Christ.
So on this episode of
All right, wait, let me try taking out my AirPods.
On this episode of Jay and Kramer, we're going to talk about how Joe Judge is the best coach in the
I don't know
NFL.
what you're saying.
How does he?
All right, I'm back.
hear us?
I'm back. I'm back.
Oh my
Hi,
Dude,
Pat.
that was so weird.
You can't joke about the FBI.
Chris
They're coming
Russo definitely has his goons at us. Like what? Mike and Mad Dog ending left Mad Dog is easily, like without a doubt. I couldn't imagine like I don't know why I always say Francesco. Mike Francesa.
My
having his
friend
own
and
show on
Luis
MLB Network.
They can both retire, and I will be very happy.
How about you just stop being mean, Jalen? Like,
No.
first you're talking about how you want to knock out Don Zimmer. Now you're talking about how you want Russo and Francesa dead. Like, what's going on
Hashtag
here?
Yo, I agree with Ryan. For Jets fans, Brian will love this. Hashtag extend Adam Gaze.
Hashtag extend Brandon Kramer.
I'll be
The FBI must be Met fans.
Yeah.
You know why also? Because they're trying to get the Yankees to release that letter. If they were Yankee fans, they
at
wouldn't
this
want
point,
the
just
letter
release
coming
the
out.
letter. I mean, there's no punishments coming from it. Just release the
Randy
goddamn letter.
Levine is literally in court fighting on behalf of the Yankees.
Good
He's
for him.
making it so hard to believe that nothing bad happened.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like I didn't
It's
murder
like-
this person, but you cannot take my fingerprints, you cannot take my DNA, and you cannot look at all the video evidence on all the cameras that you have because I don't want
Listen.
you to. Like
The way I always look at stuff, like I'm no crime expert, but if someone is like
Really?
pressing
You're not?
so hard, like all right, I like to consider myself maybe like a little bit of a crime expert because like like, I watch a lot of YouTube videos on like
I knew you were gonna fucking say that.
just like how Brandon watches like YouTube of like open heart surgery.
Oh, I'm a surgeon at this point.
No,
oh my
exactly.
goodness.
So like I like to think that the Yankees are guilty of something. Something more than
Of
what
course
we
they are.
imagine. cheap.
I feel like every good team in that time period from like I'll even say like 2014 or 2015, whenever the Yankees got Beltran, 2015 to like 2018, we were doing something. It's like all they had
Every
to
good
keep
team
up with all.
I don't
good
know if it was
teams.
Astros level though.
No.
Of course not, but that's why the Astros got penalized, or if you even want to call it that. That's why it was such a big story for the Astros because they took it to another level. But every good team was doing something, and MLB even said that, and that's why everyone's saying like the Yankees are not going to get penalized any further because the MLB knows everything that's in that letter, and like, everyone knows what they did already. So I just don't understand why it's such a big deal. It must be like Randy Levine's like nudes or something might be in there.
Yo,
Probably-
all right. One comment I want to make about your comment is, you know, like how like there's words that like you could pronounce them two different ways.
Yes.
I will never in my
tomato.
life say penalized. It's always penalized.
Well, okay, so I'm big on English and like writing.
Yeah, he's got the glasses
Okay.
on today, so we're for.
I want to be
lesson.
I want to be like an English teacher. So I have to like I had this English teacher in high school and he would always correct me whenever I said penalized. And he's like, I don't know
Is
what
it
you're
not the
thinking
right way
about.
of saying it?
It's literally not. It's penalized.
Interesting. Brandon, what are you doing?
I grabbed the football this time.
All right. Letter's going to contain the information that LA Yankee King is going to be the GM, but they can't let anyone know.
No, please.
Maybe he's like the puppet master pulling strings behind the scenes.
No wonder we
LA
have
Yankee
one.
King has the keys to the Yankees organization, and we're all just pawns.
All right, so now everyone has a ball. Like, what? I don't have. You know what? I'll be right back. Just give me like 2 seconds.
Wait. Before you
come
go,
amongst
look what I have. Look what I have.
What is that a ticket for?
Fenway
Fenway
Park.
2. Oh, you're cool.
From May 2013.
So you're the reason they won the World Series. Then.
Precisely.
If you guys get me on here, I'll be the mad dog of Unhinged. That seems like a very ready. Watch this.
Ooh,
Got my dugout mug.
Shout out to Dugout Mugs.
I have a skinny dugout mug.
That's like the toothpaste one. So you put your toothpaste in there. Yeah.
A limited edition.
Shout out to Dugout Mugs. Dugoutmugs.com/unhinged. Purchase your very own baseball bat drinking mug. Quality ass products. Like I've never seen a better product than this. I love it with all my heart and soul. So go buy one. Dugoutmugs.com/unhinged. But yeah, it's gonna wrap things up for us tonight. This isn't really turning into a what are those called? Not a talent show, but show and tell. This isn't show and tell, guys. So Brandon, your football is kind of weird. Jalen, I don't know what's going on. All right.
Hello.
This has turned in. I was gonna say something, but all right. Hashtag Dugout Mugs.
Hashtag Dugout Mugs.
I'm super concerned about Jalen right now.
I have way too many things like in arm's reach of me.
Wait, Jalen, just stay where you are right now. Right, put the phone up to your ear again.
The phone or my? Shoe?
I mean the sneakers.
Ryan, I forgot Ryan's a Browns fan.
Is it?
Ew.
Wait.
What has to go? What goes wrong in your life to become a fan?
Pause, because I'm gonna lose this train of thought. For some reason, Jalen reminds me of that scene in Monsters Inc. where Sully is throwing all that stuff down the toilet. You know what I'm talking about?
No, pull it up. Are you saying I remind you?
We're gonna get copyright strike.
Can we get copyright strike for that?
2011 Labor Day tournament champions. I got a medal. To all the other trophies in the back. You know what you get for that? Gingivitis, Pat.
Oh my god! Why is there an ad before this clip? Jalen, you need milk?
Jalen, I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Okay.
I'll put you on the spot here. Give me your top 5 wide receivers.
My FOP?
Right now. I couldn't speak English. Top 5 wide receivers right now.
Ever?
No, not ever. Right now. And then give me your top 3 of all time.
Oof. Okay.
All right, can we not?
No, let's do this. I want to do it, Pat. Since you don't want to do it because you don't know anybody. Now,
I'll easily say fucking Calvin Johnson Jr. Fuck.
Okay. All right. Yeah. There we go.
W's.
Okay.
W's.
Right now, I'll say I can't go in order because that's too off the top of my head. But like, Devontae Adams is up there. I'll say. Damn, this is not easy. Like, I don't want to put Julio in there. I guess. Okay, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins.
Do.
All right, give me your top 3 of all time then.
This is just too hard because you know what? Do you know what I'm thinking of right now?
Julio Jones and Julio Jones should be in the top.
Yeah, but I'm thinking the way I'm thinking of it is off of fantasy. So I'm like, like I want to put Stephon Diggs in there. Like I want to. I guess you can. Like
Nick's asking for my top 5.
Oh my no!
Brendan,
no.
What's your top 5?
Right. Not in order, but it's Devontae Adams. You have DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, and honestly, Tyreek Hill, then Keenan Allen.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I think Stephon Diggs has to crack my 5 this year. I think all time, I really hate Jerry Rice. I don't know why. Like I really think he's just an asshole. But like he's obviously in the top three. Randy Moss and
You have to put Calvin. You have to.
no, you don't. You could put Terrell Owens easily number three.
You could put T.O. You could put T.O.
What about?
What Pat? Pat, what do you have to say about
Pat,
this?
what?
This
What are you gonna say?
conversation?
You guys really want to know my input?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll give my top 5 of all time. Bro, easily. Like, are we talking who I think is the 5 best or who my favorite are?
If we're doing favorite, then that's different.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna give the best. I'm just gonna give the best.
Give the first 5, the only 5 that you know. How about that?
I mean, I could give more than 5, but I'll give like the first 5 that randomly pop into my head.
Go for that.
Right. Victor Cruz.
Okay.
Number 1.
That's my favorite receiver. That's my favorite receiver of all time, actually.
Let's go.
All right, Michael Crabtree.
Odo Beckham.
Michael fucking Crabtree.
Michael
How do you
Crabtree.
know Michael Crabtree?
Because you try me with a star receiver like Crabtree, and then whatever else is after that.
Josh Norman's still on the Panthers.
Yeah.
All right, who else we got? We got we got Julian Edelman. Yeah. And we got Odell Beckham Jr., of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys hear? After Lamar Jackson went into the locker room for quote unquote cramps, Odell got kicked out of the stadium for trying to get into the locker room.
All right, we're gonna end the live tonight. Brandon, what the? All right.
I had
quick shout out to Brooklyn, New York. Stud in the pros. Went to Erasmus Hall High School. Curtis Samuel now plays for the Carolina Panthers. Was a New York City legend. Saw him play against my high school, and he was probably the best athlete I've ever seen, ever. So
maybe he could get us like a Josh Norman interview.
Oh, okay. We'll just
shut up, Pat.
We'll just
wait. Wasn't Josh Norman on the Panthers?
Pat, Josh Norman has been on the Panthers in like 5 years.
All right, so there's connects in the organization. All right, shut up, Brandon. But yeah,
hashtag shut up, Brandon.
I don't know if I'm gonna go live on MLB in a little bit. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I'll leave it suspenseful. Maybe I should. Maybe I will. I'm a little bit hungry, honestly, so maybe I'll eat first. But listen, stay safe in the snow, everyone. Have fun in the snow. If you build a snowman, make sure you make it look like Brandon. Put the glasses, put the hair, have it do a Mad Dog Christopher Show impression. But regardless, if I go live later, we will see you guys tomorrow night for Unhinged Trivia, which is going to be fun. Jalen's defending his trophy, and he's going up against me and Dan Allen Rourke. So should be a good one. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night. I believe 9:30 maybe, but stay posted for that. And have a good evening, everybody. Wait, I don't know what I want to end it with.
Brian.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. See you tomorrow. After having a 6-2 lead, they allow a 10-run inning, a 10 spot to the Blue Jays. Shout out to the